Hello everyone, and welcome back to the ASMP, specifically my nation, the Newtonese Federation, specifically also the city of Newton, and specifically also my little garden in front of it. Today we are going to be touring some new developments you can kind of see in the background there. And before I do that though, you can actually visit all the places I show in this video on a public Minecraft server called the ASMP that I will link in the description of this video. I have linked the Discord because we have all the Minecraft IP information on there. However, also it is much easier to contact you if anybody needs to if you're on the Discord. And I say that for like moderation purposes, or if you have like a neighbor next to your base, or like there's a lot of reasons someone might need to actually contact you. And it is so much easier if you're on the Discord, so we very much recommend. Also, you won't get event announcements unless you're on the Discord. Anyways, without further ado, if you join the server, thank you and welcome. However, if you're just here for the tour, then welcome to that too. To get over there, we're going to go back here through this little alley between the houses, up to the History Museum next to the Capitol. And we're going to go to the back in this tower, and we're going to go down into the Grand Central Station. It's not very grand, but you get my point. And that rail line goes over to this little library here. But the one we want today is the one to Doris Bay. It is the fastest rail line I've installed so far. It should reach top speed fairly quickly. And then you reach the end, put away your minecart, don't take it with you. I should probably send some of those back to the main city, but we'll think about that later. If I head up here, welcome to Doris Bay. Woo, look, fancy camera shots that I took myself and aren't actually that fancy, but we pretend. Anyways, yeah, welcome to Doris Bay. This is the military headquarters and the beating iron heart of the Newtonese Federation. It was built in response to threats by these warships up here. That's a battleship and that's a destroyer built by the Vault. And, even better, they built 2 canals through the rivers so that they can have direct access to me and my ally France. That does not make me anxious at all. I'm sure they have completely peaceful intentions and definitely don't mean it when they're gonna raise this place. Moving on from that, I struggle with doors. Doris Bay. Yeah, if I were to turn this on, you would see that this is a little armory room full of, well, armor. It's obviously got some place to go, showing that like we're not fully stocked, but we're always in preparation. And if I go to the other side, you'll see this is the weapons room. It's got all sorts of storage for things and all these things on the shelves, flags. And now if I turn that off and go in here, you'll see the army. Hello, little puppers. Good boys and girls and thems. They got a little tub, and they got all this like lounge area. They're not very effective on their own, but all together, ooh yeah, they're a force to be reckoned with probably, hopefully, otherwise I've wasted my time. And these are the horses. We got some like saddles and stuff in the stable. I'm doing great in my words today. Probably easier to go under there. Yeah, as you can see, these horses were bred for their speed and jumping and not really their health, but some of them are okay. And I think these guys are also not as good, but still good. And that side's just the decorative side with all the horses that are very unvaluable. And moving along, these are the residentials for the soldiers and the workers. It's largely a non-permanent population, as they kind of, people who are stationed here and then move out, or people who come in to work at the dry docks, or to run the restaurant, or the convenience store, which do not have interiors, because I already have a restaurant over there, and I'm trying to figure out how to differentiate this place. Yeah, but the dry docks here got this big old crane lifting down this heavy, big old heavy head of the submarine, which is shaped like a loon. And I'm gonna, well, I probably shouldn't assume everybody knows what a loon is, because I'm pretty sure they're localized to the northeastern United States where I am. Well, and parts of Canada. But basically, they're like penguins, right? But they're not penguins. They can fly, and they're a lot skinnier, and they propel themselves with their feet rather than their wings. And their feet are actually so malformed that they are unable to walk, but they are able to fly. So they're actually not much like penguins at all. But they're still pretty cool, and they like carry their like chicks on their back, and they also have cool red eyes, and sometimes they kill eagles. Anyways, and here we have the troop transport boat, which is based on a Canadian goose, also local to my area, and the fiercest bird I've ever met, although they've never actually given me trouble. I've always been very friendly with them. They'll yell at you, but they won't actually do much. It's got like a little like gunner's post on the back, and then all the people would stand here waiting to be deployed. And here we also have just a nice little area to sit and watch the ships go out. And we got some more military housing, a nice little place where a bunch of people keep their potted plants up on the barrier, kind of using it for multiple purposes. And here we have the forges. These are the military forges, where they take the molten metal, which is actually just a lava farm, out, and they forge it into the weapons and the armor and the tools, all the things that a military could potentially need. And then they're packaged up and loaded onto a cart, and then they're shipped off. And we also have a room up here that I don't totally know what I'll do with yet. I might make it a fletching room. I also might make it an office or like another housing area, maybe like a bunk. You know, it all depends on what we need and if we can like get villagers in the city. Because theoretically, we have a new server software called Leaf, which should fix the previous issue we were having with villagers, which is that they would attempt to walk through walls to get to their workstation, which, wasn't really working well for them. But we use Leaf now, and Leaf shouldn't have the same issue that Paper does, but we also have noticed a lag issue, and we don't know exactly what's causing it, so we might have to change things again, in which case the bug could potentially come back. But, we're doing our best. And if I were to move along this way, we will go past another... Well, actually, we'll take the back route, the scenic route, past the horses and the tunnel that will go down in just a second. And here we have the duck pond. All the little ducklings just going around, and they're raised up and then turned into war machines. With their consent, of course. And we're gonna have, little armed ducks that'll swim around, and mainly they're just meant to act as kind of a coast guard. in place of, like, manned ships. And we also have some weird ducks. They're not supposed to be pink, or have holes in them. I think I fed them too much shrimp. But even if they are weird, we still love them. And I'm not about to swim across. We're gonna take that tunnel now to go visit the second town. Well, I guess city, because these places are more... Even the rural parts are still more urbanized than an average rural area. We've got this beautiful underpass underneath all the ships and stuff. And eventually I even want to put the submarines down here that you'll be able to see. And we keep going and going and running, and now there's a turn, now there's another turn. And now it's just turning. You spin me right round, baby, right round like a record, baby. And you end up at the surface in the town of Bellamy. Show the cinematic clips. Wow, they're so great. And we're back here now. Yeah, and so you can see it's like, it's more of a small area. It's kind of like the old district of Newton here, but like a separate place. Because the idea is that this place is also an old town, probably around the same age, but like historically was independent. And so it has kind of its own regional government, which also presides over Doris Bay. These two would make up like the same region, which I have yet to actually name. It might be called like the North Bay or Doris Bay or just the Bay. You know, we'll see. Whatever fits. And if you guys want to just, like, you know, suggest anything in the comments, I am fully open to suggestions. But inside the regional government building, we got a little place for a small assembly. You know, yes, I am an old politician, and I would like to pass a law that, does things probably. I am a politician, so I don't know how to do things, but we'll try. And down here we also got some offices. They're pretty depressing little offices. Whew, am I glad I'm not a government employee. I'm just the president. If I go here, I want to hire one of the other server members to make a statue, kind of like the drowned one that was behind me there. But it would be more like a farmer statue, I suppose. Like an Earth-related one. I don't know exactly how I'll do that yet, or what it'll be yet, but we'll see. And here we got a nice little pumpkin patch and a farmer's market that just runs along until you get to the ramp onto the Rainbow Road. Which actually makes that the primary connection between the entire Federation and the road. At least until I finish the road that runs through Tabaline and across Moravis. And if I go up the hill here, we have some silos. This one, the chests here are inputs that I actually need to fix at some point. They don't open. This one opens just fine. And this one's the bone meal one. You get the seeds, you put the seeds in, and they turn into bone meal. But then here we have more of like a condenser, like you put the wheat in here, and the wheat comes out as hay bales. And if I go up here, I mean, you'll see where we get the wheat from. We have these lovely little windmills with all these little circles of wheat around them, inspired by the Netherlands from the Civilization 6 games. Which, funny enough, this place gets compared to the Netherlands a lot because we are we have a lot of dense urban areas and dense agricultural operations that are pretty high tech, meaning even though we're a tiny nation, we can export a lot of food. And we're maritime focused, which historically the Dutch were also maritime focused. Just interesting little parallels that were not intentional at first, aside from the windmill part. And a fun thing about the windmills is we got these little wheels here, right? And those would, if this was a real windmill, those would turn the windmill so that it can face the wind. Because if the wind were coming from this direction, and I had the windmill just fixed in place, it would be utterly useless. However, it is very useful if I can just turn the windmill so that side's facing the wind all the time. And real windmills, even back in medieval times, could also turn like that, which I think is really cool. And right here we have our barn. I put a poll on the channel, like our community page, to see what kind of animals you guys would want in here. And you pretty overwhelmingly said llamas. So I guess you guys just really don't like cows, pigs, or donkeys. Wow, guys. I mean, I get it, but honestly, I was kind of hoping for donkeys. I don't know why. I liked the idea of the donkeys. Maybe I'll even just still put a donkey in here, just because I've heard you can keep them together. Although I don't know how true that is, because I heard it from my grandfather, and obviously he was never a farmer. Yeah, and so they got just these little colors. I specifically chose the colors based on their patterns because, for example, the blue and red have this gold trim, and I was like, nah, that's not a vibe. That feels too regal. But then this one's got a creeper face on it. Hell yeah. And if I go up here, we find the loft, where there's a little bed where you can sleep, and you can look out and see the city and the windmills. There's a storage chest. This is probably my favorite place in all of both Doris Bay and Bellamy. There's a beak coming through my door. Chicken job. Nope, just chicken. Oh, and we also have a happy ghast tied down here. They're honestly kinda useless because I can teleport these guys around using /home and /back. And these guys, their only real use in a survival setting is you can take a mob and attach it to the bottom, or you can take something in a boat and attach it to the bottom, and for the sake of just doing it, I actually brought the first 2 llamas over here from Newton using the boat. And let me tell you, oh my god, these things are so slow, and even if you hit them with a speed potion, it doesn't affect them at all. And I mean, there was another person, well, a few people on the server who were trying to turn them into weapons. The vault. And because they're so slow, and they have no health, and you can't put armor on them, they are utterly useless for battle. But they're also pretty useless for travel and transport. Moving on from them, though, we also got... Oh, and there's also another bug that I would show you if I wasn't stuck there forever. Where if you get on one of those, you don't... If you try to shift to get off, it seems to be a server-specific issue, but if you try to shift to get off, you just kind of can't. Like, it just doesn't work. And you have to do it like a dozen different times, and each time it just teleports upwards until you're just so far in the sky that you need to get back on it to bring it down anyways. It's annoying. And here we got some nice forest, but we got an axolotl pond here, which canonically would probably be used for breeding them, because, you know, agriculture. But I'm lazy and didn't feel like it. I don't even have a pink one in here. I only have the white, yellow, and brown. Although Beanie there is trying to breed the blue one, like the really rare blue one that no one really has yet. And so that's nice of her. And up here we just got another windmill. It's not different than the other windmills. But yeah, I mean, I think I have showed off everything in both of those places. They have less to show off than Newton does because A, they're younger, and B, they're pretty themed. Like, they have intended purposes to why they were built. You know, food production, military. Meanwhile, that's just a city. Like, sure, it's got... Oh, I can actually show you that stuff on the coast, too. Yeah, why don't I? Whee! This is faster than going back to the train, which defeats the point of the train, but it's cool for lore purposes. Yeah, and if I fly over here, we got just this little, like, you know, dock house with all of the, like, trading goods. We got a Newtonese trading ship, which has a cargo hold underneath with all sorts of stuff in it. There's some beds for the crew and a small kitchenette. Got the actual steering apparatus here, some wood that they're shipping. I have a feeling this ship would be like ready for departure or about to depart, but is still here now. And then over here we have a boat from Newtonia, which is this massive nation over here. And I will put a map up to show the actual size comparison of our territorial claims. And also, my nation is about 3 people. That nation is about 40. So, we have to really play nice with them. And there's another little cart, just... Ooh, that was not supposed to happen. Okay, all good. Yeah, we got another little cart here that's taken all the goods off of the Newtonian ship and bringing them to the dock house. Yeah, anyways, so I think that was all I wanted to show you today. I already outlined why there wasn't much in those 2 towns over there compared to Newton itself. But anyways, if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, so, you know, and also turn on the bell so you can see my next upload, because I probably will make one unless I were to, like, disappear suddenly or something. That's a weird thing to say. Anyways, this is Alien, and I leave in peace. Bye-bye! Oh, and I can't believe I almost forgot to show you the most important part of Bellamy. The villagers actually have this small religious site out in the forest, which it's just a symbol. And no one really knows what it means. Our historians have never deciphered it. But they seem to really value it, so... You know, we leave it alone. We leave it in peace. We don't develop this area. Yeah, I mean, it's such an odd little thing. Anyways, bye!